there is a power to those cults. And that power lures in, and then that power holds once you're in there. When you're confronted with the truth, you begin to suspect yourself rather than the cult. You begin to say to yourself, well, surely I'm not seeing things right. Surely it's not like that. And there's a power that holds people in there.
Greetings, 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 family. This is Sister Bashea, and thank you for joining us for Tribal Nations United. This is our TNU Academy Class 2, continued, but we want to make sure that we did give updates and make sure we had it recorded in our class minutes, and so that we were reaching out to the family and making sure that we would continually be consistent in being advocates for our brothers and sisters and being an aid and assistant for the indigenous people all over the world, especially the Native Americans on North America, South America, and Central America, and all the adjoining islands. We want to make sure that we are here to aid and assist you in your independence. So, pardon me, family. I am in the field working, so you may hear additional background noises, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. Please excuse or pardon our mess for a moment. Again, you can find Tribal Nations United at tnu.global. Again, www.tnu.global. You can also look up our public side, our interactive website at IamNativeAmerican.com. Again, www.IamNativeAmerican.com. On our interactive website, you'll also be able to see a video that we found and where our brothers and sisters out here in the California area have been infringed upon. And from the reports that I showed, there was a retaliation based upon citizen's arrest that was done the day before. So that's when we came in with TNU Academy Class 2 to focus on constituent and the protocol. So we wanted to make sure this is going to be a short class session, but we wanted to make sure we were here and available for TNU members to be able to give you an update. So first I wanted to make sure that anything that you hear on this call is for entertainment purposes, informational purposes, and educational purposes only. Also, anything that you hear that may sound familiar, we are able to use it based upon the fair use rule. So we wanted to get those little housekeeping items out of the way. If you do want to contact us, you can go on our website. So thank you, family. I just wanted to go over a couple of things to make sure that we were moving right along as a family. Last week we talked about what is a constituent. And the review of that is one who has the authority to assign someone to do what they need to be done. So a constituent is able to delegate, in this case, their governor. As a constituent, they are able to tell the governor, based upon the elected office and their oath of office, how to carry out the daily affairs based upon the Constitution. And when it has to do with laws, when it has to do with codes, when it has to do with statutes and amendments that affect them on their land. But the greatest thing that we do know is that any law that is contrary to the Constitution is null and void prima facie or on its face. So we want to make sure that the family is aware of that. Any law, any statute, any code, any penal code, any revised code that is contrary to the Constitution is null and void on its face. And in the Public Officials Policy Book, American Jurisprudence, especially in the second edition, it talks about the beneficiary. It talks about that when the clearly intended beneficiary speaks up, that the public official, being that they are the guardian of your liberty, they must act, they must rule, they must move, they must do the job in the favor of the clearly and intended beneficiary. So, of course, we talked about in our class 1 what it is to be a creditor, who is the elector, who is the people, who is the beneficiary, and of course, on our land, who is the native. And so we want to just touch quickly on some things. We want to give an update. Okay, based upon the video that was taped at a public location at the time and the infringement, we want to see what our roles are as beneficiaries, what our roles are as constituents, what our roles are as trustees of the land. So we won't be able to know that if we don't read our manual. In this case, the manual is the Constitution. And we won't be able to redress our grievances properly if we don't know what the Constitution says. And then even on this week, we saw that there is totally a difference between the Creator-given rights and your constitutional rights. The reason why we saw the total difference is because when you're dealing with businesses, according to publication 537 and 963, any government entity that has unregulated business is going to be taxed on their income. So when you do not uphold the Constitution, that means you are a revenue agent. And if you are looking like you are a government agent, but you are handling unrelated business for the government, meaning the people, then you are taxed on your income, not me. You are, okay, because you registered. However, my corporation, we getting that together too. So I can understand it's business to business. So just like I'm telling you, you have to take care of your business, I also have to take care of my business. So I just want to put that out there. When these city subdivision corporations, they do not base their policies on the Constitution. So for us to think that they have a duty to do so and not explore other avenues to seek remedy, that would be us reaching a glass ceiling. And as I say, and with my family, that would be our bad. So we want to make sure that we don't have a bunch of faults, but yet we are researching and studying to show ourselves approved. So based upon that, let me let you all know. We did speak with the Department of Justice, and we followed up with them to make sure that they received our complaint. They did receive our complaint. They have transferred the criminal complaint, the affidavit of fact for criminal complaint for a citizen's arrest based upon the deprivation of rights acting under the color of law. They have forwarded that, or transferred is the word, to the criminal division. So I just want to make sure we're having our class to make sure we have school class minutes for our Team U Academy. As of Thursday, we talked to the Department of Justice. They have received our complaint, the formal complaint, the affidavit of fact, criminal complaint for a citizen's arrest. And on Thursday, I did speak with them, and they let us know that the complaint has already been forwarded to the criminal division. And on Monday, we will have an update and a workload number to be able to check the status. So we do want to let the family know we are in support of our brothers and sisters who have court on this week all throughout the land. So we want to make sure that we are supporting them in spirit and in truth, and making sure that the best way to support your brothers and sisters is to study thyself approved so you can rightly divide the word of truth.
If you can read a damn book, what the hell you need a nigga to tell you some shit for? Because we lazy. We lazy. And we want to follow some damn body. I wouldn't follow nobody to the fucking bathroom. But we are addicted to this thing. And you follow these niggas for 10, 20 years, and you look up, and you find out they ain't shit, but you can't get out because you're all socialized in it. You done put up all your money. You done talk shit to all your friends on how they fucked up. And they little shit they doing ain't no good. And so you can't get out now. So you stay on and on and on with all these old bullshit-ass leaders. I don't follow nobody. If I don't follow the white man, you know I ain't going to follow his invention. A nigger was a bad invention. Niggers and flies. One spread filth and one spread lies. The more I hang around niggers, the more I like flies. Y'all crazy as hell following somebody.
And so we want to get that out there, put those ethers out there, high vibrations. We know that we're coming in the true light, but the best way to know that we're coming in the true light is to be able to truly study and know that for a fact. So I want to make sure that as we have the minutes, we're going to be looking at what is our role. Are we acting as a trustee today? Are we acting as a beneficiary? Are we the creditor? Are we the constituent? Are we the people? What is going on? Okay, so when we look at what are our roles, what is our strengths? What areas do we need assistance with? How can we team up to build and be better tribal members? And then what we want to look at in the next week to come, following with our constituent, is how to write a complaint. We're going to review how to write the complaint to make sure that everyone is on the same page. We don't want to have anyone left behind. And if you do have questions and you're shy, please make sure you reach out to us on our website, www.pnu.global, and you can leave a contact message there as well. So in reviewing on how to write a complaint, let's say, my favorite one, the county, Los Angeles County wanted to do a house check in the backyard to see if there was water leaking and gushing everywhere. Okay, so the county wanted to do that, and they sent their district surveillance department out, okay? So they sent their district surveillance department out to see if water was leaking. They had to ask for consent to go in the backyard, and they didn't have a warrant. So what I did was, based upon the intrusion and not being notified prior to, they never notified us. They never had the water company call. They never had any inspector technician come out. They've sent their district surveillance department for public health, I think. And so based upon them not having the proper protocol to do their inspection, or at least make us aware of what's going on, I did submit a complaint, and I spoke with the supervisor. And in that complaint, the first paragraph was an intro. I let them know, I am Bashea Elbey, Native American Cherokee, beneficiary of the Constitution of the State of California and the Constitution of the United States. Thank you for being the guardian of my liberties, and I accept your oath of office. That's all your first statement states when you're writing a complaint. You just need to make sure who you are, whether you include your address there, whether you make sure you include your correct tribe. Make sure you tell them who you are so they never can get it twisted of who you are. The second paragraph would be the infringement. Requesting to search without due process, illegal search without due process, badgering, harassing without due process. What is the action? What happened? How can you formulate that? How can you articulate that based upon your rights or based upon the contract? The second thing would be, in the third paragraph, would be to write out how the actions affected you. What injuries did you suffer? How did it make something come after? What resulted? What snowball effect? For instance, if I hadn't put in that complaint, they sent out the county again. And it was based upon a anonymous complaint. So when they sent someone out again, this time because I sent the first complaint, the supervisor called me directly. Because why? I'm the beneficiary. And I was working as a trustee for my family, who is truly the native beneficiaries. So she had to give me due process and a courtesy call, just like when you go into someone else's city, their land. She had to give me a courtesy call to say, you know what? I have an anonymous complaint again. Are you sure there's no water gushing? Ma'am, there's no water gushing. I can have you come out, but I will let you know if we find unfounded reports that I will intend to sue you for the harassment and whoever's making the anonymous complaint, especially if you're not able to tell me who that is. She thought about it. She said, let me see if I can get the information. She called me back and said, I'm not able to release that information. I say, well, ma'am, I thank you for researching it, but please let the anonymous complainant know that if we do not have full transparency, then I will be suing both the county and you. She said, thank you, ma'am. You won't have to worry about nothing, and you have a great day. See, you should be able to have a conversation with those who know. The conversation couldn't go with the person they sent out to the house. He doesn't know anything, and he was a native of someone else's land himself. So the person who has been elected or assigned from an elected official, board of supervisors, they had to make sure that they reached out to the proper persons to give due process of law. Because if due process of law was not given out and there was unfounded reports and you came onto someone else's property without a search warrant, without asking them or consent, then that can turn into a litigation matter or a personal injury. So based upon personal injury, we need to see how to articulate that. What elements make sure that you show forth a personal injury? Because in any platform, in any venue, you have to be able to state the cause of action so relief can be granted. Again, in any venue, even when you work within your family, your own family home, when you have family discussions at the table in the living room, maybe you even have family court, you have to be able to state the claim of action so that
now our people are looking for our identity, right? We have an identity crisis on our hand amongst our people, our community, as a collective of people. And some of our people have decided to go back and say, you know what? We as black people are actually Indians, right? Now that doesn't mean the word Indian does not exist, okay? Because the United States of America and the United States recognizes the name Indian in their Constitution, Article 1, Section 2 and 8, I do believe. It's Article 1, Section 2 and 8. This is what's happening. So you got what? You got black people thinking they're going from being black to being Indian, and they think that there's some type of upgrade. No, it ain't.
It's a downgrade.
You go from being simply just subjugated to being subjugated.
Hi, my name is Ellie Nicole, and today I'll be talking about the time when I almost joined a cult. I didn't even realize it until I told my mom about it, and then she told me to tell my uncle, who is a prominent member of his church. He's an usher, and he's traveled to different churches to speak the word of God. And when I told him about it, he told me to leave. I'm not going to get too much into detail because I feel like I'm just going to have an hour-long video. But I just want people to be aware of the signs of what someone will say to you in order to join a cult. And I feel like I was completely blind to the signs because I was so naive. And that's what cults do. They prey on people who are naive. They prey on people who do not have much because they want you to rely on them to join their organization or their cult.
If you can read a damn book, what the hell you need a nigga to tell you some shit for? Because we lazy. We lazy. And we want to follow some damn body. I wouldn't follow nobody to the fucking bathroom. Hey, but we are addicted to this thing. And you follow these niggas for 10, 20 years and you look up and you find out they ain't shit, but you can't get out because you're all socialized in it. You done put up all your money. You done talk shit to all your friends on how they fucked up. And they little shit they doing ain't no good. And so you can't get out now. So you stay on and on and on with all these old bullshit ass leaders. I don't follow nobody. If I don't follow the white man, you know I ain't going to follow his invention. A nigger was a bad invention. Niggers and flies. One spread filth and one spread lies. The more I hang around niggers, the more I like flies. Y'all crazy as hell following somebody.
Let me give you one last suck before you die. One final suck. Make it count. It'll be a blissful memory you'll be able to experience before you pass.